shoot.
Hey, you up? It's time for some coffee. Hot, bold, and full of flavor. Tonya McKenzie and Gia Sneed are my morning coffee.
What's up, good people? Welcome to another episode of My Morning Coffee with Tonya McKenzie. And
Gia Sneed.
we're not live in the coffee shop today because Gia took her fast tail out to Georgia. As you can well see, she's all outdoorsy and whatnot. So, we wanted to make sure that we didn't miss you guys. We're able to catch up on what's brewing in the streets. And we have a dope guest for you today, especially for those that have been asking for some knowledge in the financial in your financial situation. So we're going to get into money empowerment and understanding, because it's tax season, how we don't get ourselves in some trouble and how we could actually come out better than we started. So without further ado, what's going on with you, Miss Gia? Let the people know what's brewing in the streets for you.
Well, not much right now because I'm out here in Atlanta. I'm in Georgia. Let me not say Atlanta because Atlanta's a city inside of Georgia. I'm in Georgia, but I'm actually in Fayetteville right now. And like Tonya said, I took off because yesterday was my sister's birthday, her 60th birthday. So I came to Atlanta. I keep saying Atlanta. I came to Georgia to celebrate her birthday, which was fabulous. We had an awesome time, awesome weekend. If you can hear my voice, I kind of lost my voice a little bit. We partied, and then we partied again yesterday on her actual birthday at the house for the Super Bowl and slash her party, her birthday. So that's what I've been doing. And as you can see, you know, I'm here. Uh, in
Awesome.
all natural.
What did you think about the Super Bowl yesterday?
Well, okay, let's get on the Super Bowl. Okay. I had no team invested because I don't really have a football team, per se. So I really wasn't really rooting for any team over the other team. I was hoping that I won a pool because I got into a Super Bowl pool, and I don't know much about that. I just pay my money and pick the square. That goes to show you, and stuff. And I prayed about it. And I was just like, hopefully I would win some money. But again, I didn't because here I am on podcast this morning. I didn't win anything. But the game was interesting. At first I thought, as the game started, what's his name? Jalen Hurts. He was doing it. And they was driving down, they was scoring everything. And I was like, oh, Kansas City don't have a chance. They're gonna about to lose this game. That's what I was thinking at first. Then halftime came. Then halftime was over. We're gonna come back to halftime, but then we, because I gotta talk about Miss Riri, my girl. And then, second half came, and then I guess they must have had a pep talk. They must went in there and somebody said something to somebody. I don't know who said what, but they came back out and they was like a different team to me, and stuff. And they tapped their ass, and I was just like, whoa, and stuff. I was like, oh, and I didn't care who won, but I'm glad the losing quarterback had a good game. He played his ass off, and I know I don't follow sports like that. I don't know all the ins. I only know a little bit. And I know he had a lot of naysayers and they were saying all these things, that he wasn't as great and stuff like that. But I think even though they lost, he did prove some people wrong and prove some people that he is in it and he's in it to win it and stuff. So I'm glad about that. I would have been really sad if he didn't do well and they still lost and stuff. So they didn't lose because of him. They lost because they fucking defense, I don't know what was going on with their asses, but that's why they lost, because of the defense, not because of the quarterback and everything. And then old Patrick.
Old Patrick. He's not old at all, actually.
Yeah, like, but okay. Young Patrick. you know, I was a little worried about him at first, and everything. When he had that one play and he was limping off the field, I was like, ooh, that little ankle ain't right. But you know, ain't nothing like no good medication. That's all I got to say. Nothing like good little medication that can fix some stuff. And I think he got a little medicine, and he came back out after that first half, and he was like, "Okay, we here. We showing up." So yay, kudos to Kansas City. So let me shout out to our president of our fan club, Miss Deborah, Kansas City girl, Kansas City Chiefs girl. We see y'all. We see y'all. But yeah. Now let's talk about the halftime show.
Wait, hold on. Let's get back to the halftime. We're gonna bring our guest on. She might want to weigh into that too. I'd love to know if she watched it, but I'll make this quick. They were the underdogs. Kansas City was the underdogs. Every commentator damn near that I heard call the game called it for the Eagles. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
fine with that because the enemy of my enemy is the enemy. And I'm glad they lost because they beat the 49ers and I did not appreciate that. And no one gave Kansas City a chance. So, I love a good underdog showing up, but the enemy of my enemy is my
I
friend.
was kind of
So
torn
I'm
because like
loving Kansas City yesterday.
my bestie, she's a Kansas City fan, and then
Mm.
one of my favorite sorors, Lisa Smith, she's a diehard Philadelphia fan. So when I saw both teams going to be in the Super Bowl, I was going to do a post about Philadelphia versus Kansas City, and I was going to say bestie kind of soror versus best friend kind of thing and stuff. So but it was a good game. That's all I enjoyed it, but I was only really there for the halftime show.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what I was really
Okay.
there for.
Cool, cool. We'll get into that. I want to go ahead and bring in, speaking of Riri, and being a self made billionaire immigrant who came over to this country and did that whole thing. Let's get into some money talk. I know that it's tax season. I and my husband and I have learned long ago that you need more than just an accountant in your corner, especially if you have small businesses, especially if you're really trying to level up, prepare for kids going to college, prepare for retirement, just prepare to have some money in your pocket. You need more than an accountant. You need more than H&R Block. All right. I know for us, we need a tax strategist. And for many women that I've seen either deal with the passing of their spouse or divorce or just being single, trying to do it all. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing more important than financial independence. I know you're getting ready for retirement, so
Yeah.
but you are someone that did go on vacation and come back with a whole ass house. So I don't know how you did it. Not everyone is able. But let's go ahead and bring on Miss Octavia Connor, who can talk to us about money matters. How are you, Miss Octavia?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Glad you
Wow.
could be here. I think you heard kind of what we got into. I
hmm
Let's start with my favorite self-made billionaire, Miss Riri. Did you watch the show yesterday?
I didn't watch it live when it was going, but I did watch bits and pieces of it on social media afterwards.
What were your thoughts?
I think she did well. I think she did it her way. And so it's always good to find your path, do it your way, and put your little secret sauce on it. So I think she did well.
So
I
what
was
was the
impressed.
secret sauce? What do you guys think the secret sauce was?
The pregnancy.
That's what I was saying. I said, Riri said, you know what? I'm gonna let y'all talk about what you think the show gonna be about, who you think the guest gonna be, and I'm gonna bring on a surprise guest for y'all asses. And that's what she did. I
Mhm.
said, when Riri, I said, okay, Riri, we see you. We see the surprise guest. We see it, and it
Yep.
wasn't who everybody thought it was gonna be. She said, look, I'm gonna
Yep.
bring somebody totally different. So yeah, I
I
enjoyed the
was
show.
impressed. I was impressed by the fact that she didn't bring on any guests as large as her catalog is. To me, that said very clearly, I can do this by myself.
Yep.
And when we talk about money matters, many people don't think that they can do it by themselves. So, Miss Octavia, I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Let them know kind of how you got into empowering women financially, and drop a few gems on them. Let them know why this is important.
Okay, okay. Well, as a CEO of a full service company, I went through a struggle myself. Once I started out in the world of entrepreneurship, I thought since I was the CFO for a $1 billion pharmaceutical company, I was going to get out there and I was going to be at six figures and then $1 million in no time. It did not go that way. I actually, as I say, fell flat on my face and had to rebuild. And what I realized as I was going through the rebuilding stage was that my money, even though I was an accountant at that time, well over 10 plus years, my money wasn't in order. My money mindset wasn't in order. So when I started to rebuild, and I got my business from a struggling stage of having a negative $152 in my bank account and can't afford a happy meal for my kids. It was really, really bad. And then I took the company from that stage to a six-figure business and then a seven-figure business soon after. I realized a lot of women entrepreneurs go through the same thing. And so that birthed the name of my company and my company as a whole, which is Say Yes to Profits. And the whole goal is to help women entrepreneurs and women consultants gain financial clarity, financial control, and operate from a place of financial power and say yes to profits. So I would say the first tip or nugget would be to get your money in order from day one and keep your money in order, because when you do, you're then powerful with your finances and can make strategic business growth decisions.
Okay. Let's talk about what you said. We hear that a lot. Get your money in order, or you also hear like get your house in order.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess a lot of people, yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, I'm getting my house in order. I'm getting my money in order. But exactly what is order? How does a person really define and what are the steps for order? Because some people might think, well, I'm getting my money in order. Yeah, okay, my money's it's in the bank account. Okay, I'm not overextended. Does that mean I got my money in order? What is that order? Can you drop some nuggets about the order?
Absolutely. And that's a really great question. The order is centered around knowing exactly what is coming in, exactly what is going out, knowing when it's going out and why and who it's going to, identifying before you spend the money if you're going to receive a ROI, which is a return on the investment. And then, as I said before, knowing what's coming in, what is coming in, where is it coming in from, when is it going to come in. If you are a business owner, understanding if your services are priced for profit, and then also being clear proactively, being that when the money comes in, what are you going to spend it on? What will be your cost? Those are the components of having your money in order.
Do you have to, in your opinion, do you have to own a business? Should you have a business in order for you to have your money in order? What is your, for people that are afraid to do that, like talk me through your thought process with that.
You don't have to own or have a business to have your money in order. As a matter of fact, your personal life should be in order before you start your business, because business and personal, they're connected with each other. And the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if your personal finances are not in order, when you start your business, you will more than likely bring that same mindset and actions and the way that you operate in your business. So, no, you don't have to have a business, but you want to have your money in order whether you have a business or not. And oftentimes you have to start on the personal side.
What does out of order look like? Let's start there. What do you, when someone comes to you and they're telling you about their situation and it's out of order, what does that look like?
Out of order looks like not knowing what's going to happen the next week, the next month, heck, sometimes even the next day. What do I mean? You don't know if you're going to have enough money to survive. You don't know if you have a staff, you don't know if you're going to be able to pay their salary. Oftentimes, if you're a business owner, you're not able to pay yourself a salary. So you're sacrificing your life and your family's life to support a business that you're operating the business like a hobby and not like a regular business. So out of order basically means that you're not for sure what's going on. You're not for sure if you're going to have money. You're not for sure what bills are coming due and when they're coming due. Oftentimes, you don't want to look at your bills. You don't want to log into your bank account because you're afraid of what you're going to see. That is operating out of order.
Let's talk about, you said you used another term out there, whether you, I think you said operating as a business versus or as a hobby. How can a person that has a business, how do they determine or differentiate whether they have a legit business or if it's really a hobby being masked as a business?
Mm. I would definitely say it depends on how you are operating. So, one of my favorite books, The E Myth Revisited, talks about being a technician versus a CEO, right? And so, as a technician, I'll use myself for example. As a technician, I'm just being the bookkeeper, the accountant, the tax accountant for my clients, but I'm not spending any time on working in my business, working on my business rather. I'm not spending time doing any business strategy. I'm not spending time looking at my money and understanding my financial language. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just primarily focused on working with clients or getting that next client. That is one key difference between if you're operating a business or a hobby. Another key difference goes back to what we talked about earlier. If you're not aware of what's going on in your business, if I ask you right now, how much revenue are you currently earning on average? Who is your highest paying client or your highest paying service or product? And you can't really tell me that. If I ask you, what is your net profit margin over the last several months? And how did you come up with your prices? And you can't really give me that information, then you may be, unfortunately, operating your business like a hobby and not actual as an actual business. I'll give you another tip. If you wait until the end of the year to think about taxes, and then you find yourself with this huge unnecessary tax bill because you didn't use the tax laws that to your advantage, you may be operating your business like a hobby and not as an actual business.
Kim Williams asked, what strategies do you use?
I use several strategies. When I was going through my, as I call it, broke, busted, and disgusted stage, one of the things that catapulted me out of that stage was I would do something called Financial Fridays, and I do it to this day. Every Friday, no matter what is going on in my life, no matter what is going on in my business, I sit down with my money on both the personal and business side. And I look at what happened. I look at where are we versus where we desire to be, and what do we need to do to get to that next level. That was the very first strategy I implemented outside of getting my bookkeeping in order and, having a financial system for my company.
Mm, I like that. Someone asked me about my taxes once and didn't ask the person next to me that does not look like me. I said, that was kind of racist. Well, why is asking about your taxes racist? Why aren't you asking him about his? I don't
Hmm.
think people recognize how our tax code is actually set up. Can you talk about that and how it has impacted the African American community?
I would have to say that oftentimes we don't take a lot of time to sit back and read between the lines. And so when we don't prepare ourselves, because there are a lot of tax strategies that we can use, right? But if we don't know and we don't have that knowledge, we miss out on those tax strategies. In addition to that, oftentimes we find just anybody, when tax time come, everybody pop up and they're doing taxes, they're tax accountants supposedly. And so we just find anybody that look at us like a number and not really someone that is there to say, hey, I did this, and it worked this way, so you should do that. Or I've worked with several people that have done this, or they're just studying the tax codes, right? And so when we don't do that, that hinders us. And then we are often in a position where we pay more taxes than anyone else. And I think it goes back to knowledge and reading and understanding and partnering with someone that has that knowledge as well.
Well, okay, that was my question. How does want someone, and particularly like women in business, how do they get that information, that knowledge? Because I've taken a few tax courses in business courses, and that tax code and that tax law, them that course, woo, is a doozy. There's a lot. It's a lot in that book, okay, and it's a lot to dissect and a lot to really understand. And I think a lot of times that's why we're so miseducated, because it's a lot, and it's we don't get it in a simplified form. And again, like people say, okay, Google it or go read it or go look it up. Yeah, I can read something and comprehend what it is, but really, how do I apply what I read? And so where does one get that, I guess, that knowledge, and how to apply some of the things that are in the tax codes to benefit them when it comes to taxes and their
I would
money?
say hire a tax strategist. Hire someone that does this for a living. Hire someone that enjoys this. Hire someone with a proven record, a proven track record for helping business owners, for helping women entrepreneurs reduce their taxes to the smallest legal amount possible.
Hey, I heard that was you though.
Yes.
Tell the people a little bit more about your business and who your ideal client is. How do you work with other women consultants and entrepreneurs?
So, Say Yes to Profits is a full service accounting firm that specializes in CFO services, but we're not like your traditional mom and pop down the street accounting firm. We strategically combine the everyday financial matters such as bookkeeping, tax strategy, tax planning with financial coaching and consulting. Now, because we operate like this, our clients tend to grow faster. Perfect example. So we'll have clients that we're doing the bookkeeping for. We do a tax planning session with all of our clients when they first come on board. We do an annual planning session with them as well. But each month, we're doing a financial coaching and consulting session with them to identify their progress and then to guide them on all of the things they need to implement month by month in order to make sure that they legally and ethically pay less taxes while scaling their company.
I know we talked. I don't know if it was before we talked briefly, and I think maybe Tanya mentioned it. We got a lot of entrepreneurs out there. People want to go in business, and they have a lot of, I guess, classes or a lot of so-called coaches and our groups for entrepreneurs to get in. And everybody's dropping all these little things. You do this, you should do that. Oh, you should become an LLC. You should become incorporated. You should become an S corporation. And they tell you got to sign up to do all this stuff. And, get your EIN number, so you can get your business credit and all that kind of stuff. And then everybody runs out and does it because somebody tells them that they read it, they should do this. But they don't tell them, I don't think they're giving them all the information that they need. Okay, yeah, I go and apply for my LLC. Okay, I got it. Hey, I got my LLC. Okay, now what? You see what I'm saying? So now everybody's changing their business name. Now, for example, the Mahogany Box LLC. Okay, I'm LLC. Okay, what does that
No.
mean to the masses, and what does that mean to me as an owner, of the business? I'm LLC. I know there's things I have to do. Okay, but sometimes those things are not told to people. So you got people telling people to go and become LLCs, become corporations, incorporate, and then they do this, and then, like Tanya said, all of a sudden, little letter comes in, legal size letter comes in the mail, you know, from the franchise tax board, and then you start shaking, open it, because you're like, well, I'm getting this letter. Well, I'm getting this letter from the franchise tax board. You open it up and you start reading, and stuff, and oh my God, what? I got, I gotta pay. I owe what?
Mhm.
Why is that? Bec- Because I got an LLC.
Mhm.
Because when you fill out the LLC, it don't tell you. I don't think it tells you that. Oh, every year you better give me. You got to give me this money. Okay. It just says, what's your name? What's the legal name of the business? Some other stuff, It don't say nothing about at the bottom line. Every year by this day, you need to, break me off some money. If not,
Mhm.
I'm gonna come for you. And then so you have a lot of people that have these LLCs, like you said, and they wind up either losing them or they get this letter later on, saying they owe all this money.
Mhm.
Can you talk to us about that? And then what's the difference for the people that are wondering right now, I want to start a business, between the LLC, the S Corp, the DBA? Talk us through that real quick if you could.
Yes. So an LLC is a limited liability company. One of the greatest benefits of becoming an LLC is that there are tax structures and, well, tax deductions, I'll say, that you can take that you cannot take as a sole proprietor. One. The second thing, I know in the marketplace, there's a lot of talk about LLCs versus S Corp and how at some point you want to switch to an S Corp because that's going to benefit you come tax time. They leave out a lot of information in the middle of that. Here's what you have to understand: an S Corp is a tax type, an LLC is a business entity. When you are an LLC, then you're just a general liability company. When you are an S Corp, you are an LLC taxed as an S corporation. And when you do that, as an S corp, the major benefit is that you are not required in most cases to pay self-employment taxes. So off top, you save about 15.3% in taxes, right? But let me go back. So when you form a business, you want to make sure that now that you've registered your LLC, now that you have your EIN, that you also implement an accounting system, because as a business owner, you're required to have an accounting system that can be audited. One where the IRS can come and they can look in your books, they can look at your financials, and they can see what's going on. They can ask you questions, and you can pull this information and prove whatever you've taken as tax deductions. So the mistake that a lot of people make is that they'll go out there, as you mentioned, start these LLCs, and then they're just done. And they think, well, I got an LLC. However, they have not set up an accounting system. And then they get this letter or whatever, and they have these taxes to pay, and things are just not in order because they didn't put the foundation in place, which is the financials after starting the business. That's where a lot of business owners get in trouble.
Hmm.
And you can do things like buy property,
Oh, absolutely.
vehicles, and things of that nature with your business. So that's one of the one of the biggest things that we've learned is how you can play with your money differently than if you did not have a business. So for someone that does not want to own a business or launch a LLC, what do you advise them to do to be on the winning side of our tax code? Because it's tricky.
I would advise them to do tax planning. As I, mentioned earlier, a lot of business owners, a lot of people, honestly, but definitely for business owners, they'll wait to the end of the year and then just go to kind of anybody to get their taxes done. I see that so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm looking at a business owner's taxes that they haven't worked with us, they haven't worked with anyone throughout the year, they honestly pay about 30-40% higher in taxes than someone who has done tax planning. When you implement tax planning from the very beginning, and now is a perfect time, when you implement that from the very beginning, every single month and every single quarter, you can project your potential tax liabilities and implement strategies that will reduce them. You mentioned the vehicle taxes. One of our clients implemented the vehicle deduction, not vehicle taxes, the vehicle deduction last year in 2022, and we did their end of the year tax projection, and they save over 50% by using that deduction. And so they would have never implemented that if we had not done tax planning for their business. So that would be a first step or second step after getting your accounting in order, tax planning.
I've seen a lot of people get wind up in situations after someone passes in their family. Maybe they didn't know their financial situation. They pass, they get left something, or they wind up having to take over, a family member's estate or their house, and now they got money, but they don't know they don't know how it affects them. And I bring that up too because we're in a generation now where there's more entrepreneurs, and we come from more, parents with 9 to 5s. Or
Mm-hmm.
for me, my mom she didn't have a job. She was on AFDC. So then when you start having, regular finances, and you have larger amounts of money that no one previously in your family has really ever dealt with, your tax liability increases.
Mhm.
But that's not traditionally something that we are used to. So, at what point, for anyone that's listening right now, and they know that their situation is different than maybe their parents' situation, or someone might pass, and you might have these other things to take care of that you never had to take care of before, give them your best advice for dealing with finances that really no one ever really taught them about.
I would definitely say to hire a money team. And so your money team could consist of a financial planner, a tax accountant, and a CFO, and a bookkeeper. At Say Yes to Profits, we have all of those individuals working internally here for our clients, except a financial planner. We have a great financial planner we refer businesses to. But I would definitely say when you are on the cuffs of a large amount of money or coming into a large amount of money for whatever the reason, hire a money team, a financial team to help you navigate new territory.
Girl,
How
you
did
do.
you scale your business? I want you to talk to people through how you scaled your business. This thing happened. You realize, oh my God, I need to teach other people how to do this, but it's not you by yourself. You have scaled, and you have a team, and you continue to hire and bring on people. I don't know if they're all employees or independent contracting, but talk about scaling your business, because I think that too is something that many women are trying to figure out. How do I scale this business to go from solopreneur to something that helps and impacts many individuals?
And also how are also talk about when should a person scale their business?
Got it. Got it. Great questions, actually. So, I would definitely say the first thing is to always think about where you're going. Oftentimes, especially business women, we make decisions based on where we are, we make decisions based on our emotions, right? And you have to take your emotions out of building a company. And you have to think about where you desire to be. So even though you may not be at that place right now, you know that at the end of this year, you desire to hire your first employee, or you know that at the end of this year, you desire to cross the $1 million mark. When you think about where you desire to be, then you ask yourself, and I used to do this all the time. I would ask myself, well, my desire first was 6 figures. Then my desire was $1 million. So I would ask myself, Octavia, what would the $1 million Octavia do? What would she do in this situation? What would she do on this sales call? What would she do at this networking event? How would the $1 million Octavia show up? And so I would ask myself that, and I would show up in the way that I thought that $1 million Octavia would show up. I would study other business owners that were 2 to 10 steps ahead of me. I hired my own money team to help me so that I could scale my business to the next level. And then I implemented strategies that, for me, seemed like it was going to take us to that next level. And I always check my progress along the way.
I love this. What else, Gia? What are you thinking? Actually, I could just sit here and ask you questions all day, but
I know it's a whole lot, and I think I think it's needed, and it's almost like we need to have you back or work on like maybe doing a workshop, collaborating on a workshop or something like that, because there's a lot of information, and I know that there's a lot of stuff that people out here that have these businesses don't know, but they're afraid to say they don't know it, and they're just going along and stuff like that. Because you were saying a whole lot of stuff, and I was like, a money team. I was like, okay, well, shoot, a money team. Wow, that sounds expensive. I'm like, you named about 3 or 4 people that need to be on the money team. So there's somebody that has a small business. They're thinking, I can't afford that kind of
Money
stuff because
team.
it sounds like it's expensive. It sounds like it's a lot. So again, so therefore, a lot of people won't do it because they feel as though, oh, I can't afford that. I'm gonna wing it, try to make it myself. And then they're scratching their head, at least at the end of the year or next year, saying, how come I'm not further along in my business than I was when I first started the business and things like that. But again, I know some people say, well, people can go to school and learn all that kind of stuff, but you got a lot of people out there that don't have the time to go to school, and but they have a skill that they have a business, and stuff. So, and they need some help.
Here's the
Okay.
thing. Um, I'm good at what I do. Clearly, she's good at what she does. So then I call her because I'm not good at what she does. And I think that's what we have to learn how to do is acknowledge what we are good at and what we are not good at. And it's okay to say, I need help. It's okay to say, I saw her on My Morning Coffee. I think I'm going to give her a call. Even if I don't work with her, maybe she can refer me to someone that I can afford.
Hmm.
We have to get out of our own way in regards to how we move and how we grow, and then how we also help each other. So, I do thank you for being here. We want to know how to get in touch with you. We want to know how to stay connected with you. If there are opportunities to learn from you, share that with us, please.
Yes, yes, yes. So to stay connected with me, you can visit our website at sayyes2profits.com. We're on every social media platform as well at sayyes2profits.com. And then for those of you that are truly ready to get your finances in order, we're having a workshop here in Atlanta, a 2-day event, and it's called the Say Yes to Profits Master Plan, where we're going to walk you through creating the financial plan for your business that will allow you to take your company to the next level this year and beyond and reduce your taxes. So to find out more information about that, you can go to masterplan.sayyes2profits.com. Masterplan.sayyes2profits.com.
We
Okay.
appreciate
So,
you being here. Go ahead.
what day is that? What day is that workshop?
It is March 15th through March 16th, and
Okay.
it's going to be here in Atlanta, Georgia. And right now, for like the next 2 days, we have the early bird ticket special going on, where you get
Okay.
50% off as well.
She looks like she's about to book another flight from California to Atlanta in March. So I'm gonna have to let you go because you're causing problems in our relationship right now. And I don't really know how I'm feeling about this whole Atlanta connection. I guess I need to find me an Atlanta connection. I don't know. But Miss Octavia, we want to thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And we'll be in contact. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it, and I'll come back again.
Love it. Thanks so
Love
much.
it.
All right, Miss Gia, your
Well,
thoughts?
that sounds like we need to talk money more. And that's something we don't do, especially in the Black community. We don't talk money. And and I guess that's from you. This how our parents and our grandparents were brought up. Some things you just don't speak about, and I think that kind of hurts us as a people and in business because we're not used to talking about money, and it's almost like I don't want nobody to know how much money I have or how much money I don't have. Therefore, I'm not going to have any conversations. I don't want to have conversations about money. But again, I think that's a topic that should be discussed because it's so much out there that we don't know that we could benefit from, but because we're not having conversations about money, we're just in the same place, seems like.
If we can keep our people from having to do car washes and stand on corners to raise money for funerals, I'm all for it
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
that I'm over that.
Yeah.
We have to
Yeah.
do better. We can do better. And we have people in our corner that will help us do better. So definitely appreciating her. So before we get out of here, what's coming up for you?
um well, I'll be in Atlanta for a few more days. I gotta start saying Georgia because I don't want, because I'm not actually in Atlanta. I'm in Georgia, in Fayetteville. But no, I'll be in Georgia for a few days, back home, and I'm gonna be back on the grind, working on product for the mahogany box, and restocking my space in the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall, where I have a space there in the city marketplace. You guys go there and check it out. Even when I'm not there, you still can shop the mahogany box there. I have some things there right now, great things, some Black History Month stuff, as well as other stuff. And they also have the Pan African Film Fest is going on, so they have the African Marketplace, I believe. I don't know if it's called that or not, but you guys know what I mean. They shop the Baldwin Hills Mall. Uh, from now until the 22nd. Okay, that's really what it's about. Okay, but more importantly, go into Afro City, look for the mahogany box space, and shop the mahogany box. That's it, really.
I love it. I love
Other than
it.
that, I don't have anything else going on. I can't wait to get back home so you and I can be together and at the next podcast and catch up on things,
All
off the
things.
air type stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I'm actually headed out to Cal State Northridge, get to speak on campus.
Hey, okay. Oh, your event
Create.
because are you a speaker at this event?
I am. I'm a speaker, creatives in entertainment, all graduates, alumni of Cal State Northridge. So that will be great.
You know what I
Got
think,
a couple of
Tonya?
webinars coming up. What do you think?
I think you look at my calendar and you always see when I'm out of town, and then you book these events, and then I can't be at them. I can't attend because I'm always not available. I think you do that, because you always say, put everything on the calendar. You see my calendar. Now I see why you say that. You look and you say, oh, gee, it's not going to be in town. I'm going to book this gig, the speaking gig, so she won't be there, and she can't come, she can't see me, she can't comment, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my God, so narcissistic of you. Jesus. No, I was booked for this. I had nothing to do with it. It's just a privilege to be back on campus. I'm actually super excited
I'm
because
excited. Yeah.
I haven't been back on campus since Terriel's funeral. So
Uh
this
huh.
will be a first time. And I'm excited to explore a little bit more and maybe find more opportunities for us to do some stuff on campus. So I'll keep you posted. But listen, y'all, we want to thank you for being here today. We'll be back live together soon. Hopefully, you guys stick around. And
Yes.
as usual, stay connected on all things social media. We are at My Morning Coffee Drip on Instagram. You can find me at Tanya McKenzie PR. You can find her at the Mahogany Box. We are pretty consistent on all social media platforms, as I suggest you all do. Be consistent, be available, be visible, and we'll see you next time.